The midday sun bounced off the asphalt, glinting on chrome and leather as a group of Hell's Angels lined their Harleys outside a quiet suburban street. Engines idled, tires humming against the concrete, the rumble of raw power blending with distant children's laughter. It should have been a normal ride, but nothing about today was normal. A small voice, frantic and pleading, cut through the ambient roar. "Please, don't let him take me home." 70 bikers froze, heads turning to see a boy, no more than 7, perched on the curb. His arm was in a cast, his small frame trembling as he clutched a worn backpack to his chest. The fear in his eyes was raw, urgent, impossible to ignore. Hawk, wiping grease from his hands, crouched down. "Kid, slow down. Who's trying to take you?" The boy's voice shook. My stepdad, he hurts me. I don't want to go back. Please. I just want to stay safe." Ryder exchanged a sharp glance with Hawk, tension coiling in his chest. "You heard him, right? He's serious. We don't mess around with this." The boy's pleading eyes scanned the bikers, desperate for understanding. I don't have anywhere else to go. Please, just don't let him take me home." Hawk's jaw tightened. He motioned for the chapter to form a protective semicircle around the boy. The rumble of the Harleys seemed distant now, overshadowed by the gravity of the situation. 70 men, hardened by life and leather, understood that fear like this wasn't something to confront with force. It was something to protect, nurture, and defend against. Ryder knelt beside the boy. "You did the right thing by coming here. We've got you now. No one's touching you until we know what's happening." The boy exhaled shakily, relief mixing with lingering fear. He had walked this street alone, casted arm and all, carrying the weight of terror no child should endure. And now, standing before 70 bikers who had just become his guardians, he felt a spark of hope, a fragile, vital thread that could grow into something stronger. Hawk scanned the quiet street, his eyes narrowing. "Let's find out who he's afraid of. Then we make sure he never feels this unsafe again." The chapter fanned out, engines silenced but senses heightened. Every man knew what was at stake, not property, not pride, but the life and safety of a child. And in that instant, the quiet neighborhood became the stage for courage, loyalty, and moral strength in action. The little boy clutched his backpack tighter, whispering, "Please, don't let him hurt me again." Hawk's gaze softened, but his voice carried authority. "You're safe now. We'll handle the rest." The bikers spread out, moving through the suburban streets like a silent storm, eyes sharp and muscles tensed for anything out of the ordinary. Hawk stayed close to the boy, his small hand gripping the leather-clad one, as they approached the house the boy had pointed to, a modest 2-story with peeling paint, a place that now seemed menacing through the lens of fear. Ryder muttered under his breath, scanning windows and doors. "This isn't just a scared kid exaggerating. He's terrified for a reason. We need to see what we're dealing with before we act." The boy swallowed hard, voice trembling. He's been angry a lot, and last week, he hit me. I don't want to go back." Hawk crouched to his level, voice calm but firm. "You did the right thing by coming here. We're going to make sure you stay safe. That's the first step. Now we find out exactly what we're facing." The bikers fanned out, inspecting the property while keeping a protective perimeter around the boy. Engines were silent, every movement deliberate. No one underestimated the danger. Experience had taught them that domestic threats were often the most unpredictable. From behind a fence, Ryder spotted movement, a shadow darting near the side of the house. He signaled Hawk, who approached cautiously. "Kid, stay back. Watch and learn. Courage is important, but so is understanding when to wait." The boy's eyes widened, fear mixing with awe. I see him. That's him." Hawk nodded, voice low. "Good. Now stay calm. We're going to handle this, and you're going to stay safe." The bikers moved strategically, surrounding the house and ensuring there was no easy exit. Hawk signaled Ryder and Jace to approach the side entrance while he prepared to confront the front. The boy clutched his backpack tightly, but a spark of trust had replaced the raw fear. He knew these men were not just strong, they were loyal, protective, and guided by a moral code he could feel radiating from them. Suddenly, the stepfather appeared at the door, face red with anger, hands balled into fists. He froze as 70 pairs of eyes met him, the weight of the Hell's Angels' presence pressing down like a physical force. Hawk stepped forward, voice steady, commanding. "You're not touching him. Not today. Not ever. Step aside, or you'll answer for everything you've done." The man faltered, fear and confusion flickering across his face. He had expected to intimidate a small child, but 70 bikers? He hadn't counted on that. The boy whispered, voice small but determined, don't let him hurt me." Hawk's hand rested reassuringly on the boy's shoulder. "You won't. You spoke up. You trusted the right people. That's why you're safe." Ryder moved closer to the side, quietly observing. "We'll make sure he doesn't get another chance. And the authorities are on their way. You'll see justice happen the right way." The bikers created an unbroken circle of protection, making the stepfather understand without a single punch that he no longer had power. The boy felt the solid strength of moral courage in motion, the combination of loyalty, vigilance, and decisive action that could transform fear into safety. Hawk knelt to the boy's level once more. Courage isn't about fighting. It's about speaking up, trusting the right people, and standing firm. Today, you've done all three. That's why you're safe. The sun gleamed on the biker's chrome, a silent testament to the strength, protection, and moral clarity they represented. The boy exhaled, relief flooding him, and for the first time, he truly believed in the power of loyalty, courage, and the unyielding protection of those willing to stand for justice. The stepfather's hands trembled as he realized the full weight of the biker's presence. Hawk's eyes locked onto him, voice calm but unyielding. "You've had your chance to control, to intimidate, to scare. Not anymore. Step aside. Now." The man's anger flickered into panic. I didn't." Ryder interrupted, voice low and firm. "You endangered a child. You thought fear was enough. But courage, the boy's courage, brought 70 of us here. That's moral strength you'll never understand unless you face the consequences." The little boy watched, clinging to Hawk's leather arm, as the bikers closed the perimeter. Each movement was calculated, protective, a lesson in both strength and ethics. He saw that power was not about fists or intimidation. It was about loyalty, moral courage, and the willingness to act when the stakes were highest. Jace stepped forward, authoritative and deliberate. "You've had a choice every day. Protect, love, guide. Instead, you chose fear. That stops today. Authorities are on their way. You will answer for everything. And make no mistake, we will make sure of it." The stepfather swallowed, finally realizing he had lost control. The biker's presence wasn't aggression, it was accountability, moral authority backed by undeniable strength. The boy's fear began to ease, replaced by a fragile sense of trust and security. Hawk knelt beside him, voice gentle. "See what courage does. You spoke up. You didn't hide. That act alone changed the outcome of today. That's why loyalty, vigilance, and moral courage matter. And that's why you're safe now." The man tried to step forward, but Ryder's sharp movement blocked him subtly yet decisively. "Don't test our patience. You lost any claim to authority the moment you hurt a child. Justice isn't about revenge, it's about ensuring the innocent are safe. That's what's happening now." The boy, trembling but emboldened, whispered, I'm not scared anymore." Hawk placed a hand on his shoulder, voice firm yet warm. "Good. Courage isn't the absence of fear, it's acting even when you feel it. Today, you acted. And today, you were protected. That's the lesson." The bikers remained vigilant as the authorities arrived, ensuring the stepfather could not escape accountability. Each officer's eyes widened at the scene, a child safe, 70 bikers forming a protective circle, moral authority radiating in every leather-clad figure. The neighborhood watched in awe, realizing that protection could be fierce, principled, and morally sound all at once. Hawk glanced down at the boy, pride evident in his expression. Courage, loyalty, and moral strength aren't just words, they're actions. You just demonstrated all three in one day. Never forget it. The boy, trembling but emboldened, whispered, I'm not scared anymore. Hawk placed a hand on his shoulder, voice firm yet warm. Good. Courage isn't the absence of fear, it's acting even when you feel it. Today, you acted. And today, you were protected. That's the lesson. The bikers remained vigilant as the authorities arrived, ensuring the stepfather could not escape accountability. Each officer's eyes widened at the scene, a child safe, 70 bikers forming a protective circle, moral authority radiating in every leather-clad figure. The neighborhood watched in awe, realizing that protection could be fierce, principled, and morally sound all at once. Hawk glanced down at the boy, pride evident in his expression. Courage, loyalty, and moral strength aren't just words, they're actions. You just demonstrated all three in one day. Never forget it. The boy exhaled slowly, relief washing over him as he absorbed the magnitude of what had just happened. He had been terrified, yet he had acted. He had trusted strangers, and those strangers had become guardians. He had learned firsthand that true courage and loyalty could change outcomes and ensure justice without violence, through action, presence, and moral authority. The bikers' engines remained silent, their presence a shield, a lesson, and a promise. The neighborhood, once tense and uncertain, now felt the reassuring weight of protection, moral clarity, and unwavering vigilance. The boy's small hand gripped Hawk's leather arm as the bikers began their careful sweep of the neighborhood. Each step was deliberate, a combination of protection and reassurance. Families peeked from windows, children huddled near their parents, and a quiet awe spread through the streets as they realized these men were not threats, they were guardians. Hawk's voice, calm but commanding, echoed softly. Everyone has a role today. Some speak up, some protect, and some act with courage. Today, this boy did all three, and we're here to make sure the neighborhood is safe because of it. Ryder checked the back alleys, eyes sharp. We're not just reacting, we're preventing. Every home, every corner, every street needs to feel secure. You'll see why loyalty and vigilance matter in a minute. The little boy's eyes widened as bikers approached doors, knocking gently, explaining the earlier threat, and providing guidance to families on how to stay alert. No intimidation, no arrogance, just clear, calm authority and moral strength. Mothers and fathers listened, some shaking, some nodding in relief, recognizing the sincerity behind every action. Micah, a neighbor who had witnessed the earlier confrontation, approached the boy and whispered, You saved all of us. I never thought anyone would care like this." The boy blushed, looking down. I just didn't want anyone to get hurt. I didn't know it would matter so much." Hawk crouched to meet his gaze. "You see, courage isn't measured by age or size. It's measured by action. You spoke up, you trusted the right people, and now lives are safer because of it. That matters more than you know." The bikers continued their sweep, distributing small safety supplies, checking on vulnerable families, and ensuring no further threats remained. Every movement, every gesture, reinforced a lesson in responsibility and vigilance. Even the youngest members of the chapter moved with purpose, showing that protection wasn't just physical, it was moral. The boy watched, understanding more with each passing moment. Courage wasn't loud or flashy. It wasn't about fighting. It was about doing what needed to be done, speaking up, and trusting others to act when necessary. His small voice had initiated a chain of protection that rippled outward across the neighborhood. Hawk placed a reassuring hand on the boy's shoulder. "Today, you saw what real strength looks like. It's not just muscles or bikes, it's loyalty, courage, and moral action. And you were a part of it." The boy's lips quivered as relief and pride mingled. I feel safe now, and I want to help others too." Ryder nodded, voice gentle but firm. "You will. Today, you learned that even the smallest action can create change. Courage inspires loyalty. Loyalty inspires protection. Protection saves lives. And you just saw it in action. As the bikers regrouped, engines humming softly for presence rather than threat, the neighborhood seemed to exhale collectively. The fear that had lingered moments ago was replaced with security, trust, and a newfound respect for moral strength in action. The little boy smiled faintly, heart lighter yet empowered. He had faced fear, trusted strangers, and witnessed justice unfold. He understood now that courage, vigilance, and moral clarity could protect, inspire, and create lasting impact. The neighborhood had settled into an uneasy calm, but the bikers knew that true safety required more than a single sweep. It required order, reassurance, and empowering the residents to act with vigilance. Hawk led the boy to a small park at the center of the block, where families gathered cautiously, still shaken but beginning to trust. "Listen up," Hawk called, voice firm but warm. Today, courage came from a small boy who refused to stay silent. That courage gave us the chance to act, to prevent harm, and to protect everyone here. That same courage can exist in each of you, too. The boy's eyes widened as he listened. He hadn't expected to be a teacher, a beacon of strength for a neighborhood of adults, but today he had been. And now, Hawk's words made it clear that his action could ripple further. Ryder stepped forward, scanning the park. This isn't just about preventing one incident. It's about showing that standing up, speaking out, and trusting the right people can create safety. You all saw how one voice, one brave voice, changed everything. The little boy whispered, barely audible, I never thought I could help like this." Hawk knelt beside him. "You did. Courage isn't about size. It's about action. You spoke up when it mattered, and look at what you accomplished. You stopped danger, saved lives, and gave the adults around you a lesson in moral strength." The bikers, now forming a semicircle around the park, interacted with families, teaching simple ways to stay alert and safe. The boy followed along, watching and learning, feeling empowered. He had been terrified this morning, but now he understood that vigilance and courage were tools anyone could use to protect themselves and others. Jace, one of the chapter's seasoned riders, crouched beside the boy. "Today, you saw strength in leather and chrome, yes. But the real strength? It's in courage, loyalty, and moral responsibility. That's what keeps neighborhoods safe. That's what keeps people alive." The boy nodded slowly, absorbing every word. He had seen firsthand that action mattered more than fear, that speaking up mattered more than silence, and that moral courage had a power all its own, stronger than any fist, louder than any engine. As the bikers prepared to leave the park, Hawk placed a hand on the boy's shoulder. "You've learned something today. You've seen courage, loyalty, and protection in action. But remember this, you don't need to wear leather or ride a Harley to act. Courage lives in everyone who chooses to do the right thing, to protect, and to speak out." The boy's smile grew, faint but genuine. He understood that fear could be confronted, that action mattered, and that even the smallest voice could command change. His arms, despite the cast, felt stronger now, not because of physical strength, but because of moral courage. The neighborhood exhaled as the bikers' engines roared softly one last time, leaving a trail of reassurance and a lesson. Courage, loyalty, and moral responsibility were the true engines of safety. And the boy, small but empowered, now carried the knowledge that he could make a difference anytime fear threatened those around him. The stepfather had been temporarily held back by authorities, but the bikers knew that lasting safety required one final confrontation, a display of moral authority that would ensure the boy's protection for good. Hawk guided the boy to a safe vantage point as the chapter approached the house again, forming a formidable wall of leather, chrome, and unwavering resolve. "Kid, stay behind us," Hawk said gently. "We're not just stopping him, we're making sure he never threatens you again." Ryder's eyes narrowed as they approached the front door. "This is about accountability. No more warnings. No more fear. He needs to understand that courage and loyalty protect the innocent, and we won't stand aside." The stepfather appeared, face pale with anger and panic. I just want my son," he stammered. Hawk stepped forward, voice steady and firm. "He's safe. Not because of force, but because of moral courage, yours is gone the moment you chose fear over care. This ends now. Jace moved alongside, arms crossed, a silent sentinel of justice. You've endangered him long enough. You've ignored warnings, ignored law, ignored decency. Today, the consequence is clear. You no longer have power here. The little boy, trembling but resolute, whispered, I'm not scared anymore. Hawk looked down at him, pride shining in his eyes. That's right. Courage isn't the absence of fear, it's acting even when you feel it. You faced danger, spoke up, and trusted the right people. That's strength, and that's why you're safe today. The stepfather faltered, realizing the magnitude of what had transpired. 70 bikers, unwavering in loyalty and moral authority, surrounded him. The boy's courage had sparked a chain reaction. Protection, accountability, and justice had aligned to create safety that would last. Authorities escorted the man away, ensuring he could no longer harm the child or the neighborhood. The bikers remained behind, engines rumbling softly, a presence both protective and reassuring. Hawk placed a hand on the boy's shoulder. Today you saw what courage and loyalty look like in action. You spoke up, and it changed everything. That's moral strength. You've seen it, lived it, and been protected by it. The boy's eyes glistened with relief and pride. I want to help people too. I don't want anyone to feel scared again. Ryder smiled. You will. Courage like yours inspires others, and now you know how powerful it can be. Always act, always speak, and always protect those who need it. As the bikers prepared to leave, engines roaring softly in unison, the boy felt a warmth of empowerment and trust. The streets were safe, the neighborhood secure, and the lesson clear. Moral courage, loyalty, and decisive action could create lasting protection that no fear could undo. The sun hung low, casting a golden glow over the quiet streets. The boy watched the bikers disappear down the avenue, knowing that courage and moral strength weren't just ideas, they were actions, and he had been a part of them. The streets were quiet, sunlight filtering gently through the trees, painting the asphalt with a warm glow. The little boy sat on the curb outside his home, casted arm propped carefully, but his expression was no longer fear, it was relief, pride, and newfound confidence. He had survived danger, trusted strangers, and witnessed justice unfold, and the lesson would stay with him forever. Hawk knelt beside him, voice calm yet commanding. You've learned something powerful today. Courage isn't about size or strength, it's about action. You spoke up, trusted the right people, and helped protect everyone around you. That's real strength. Ryder nodded, standing behind them. Most adults ignore danger, hide behind excuses, or stay silent. You acted. You changed outcomes. You taught everyone around you what moral courage looks like. That's rare, and that's important. The boy's lips trembled with a small smile. I didn't think I could. I just wanted to be safe. Hawk's eyes softened. And because you spoke, because you acted, safety became real for you and for your neighbors. Courage isn't about never being scared, it's about doing what's right even when fear is there. You've done that today. The bikers mounted their Harleys, engines humming softly as a sign of protection rather than threat. The boy watched, a deep sense of trust and empowerment filling him. The neighborhood had been shielded, danger neutralized, and a small voice had proven its weight could ripple outward to create real change. Hawk placed a hand on the boy's shoulder one last time. Remember this day. Remember your courage. Remember that loyalty, moral strength, and decisive action can protect the innocent, inspire others, and restore safety. You're part of that now, and nothing can take that away. The little boy exhaled, the weight of fear lifting, replaced by understanding and purpose. He had learned that courage, trust, and moral action were more powerful than fear, and he would carry that knowledge for the rest of his life. Courage is not measured by size, age, or strength, it is measured by action. Speaking up can protect the innocent and inspire others to act. Loyalty and moral responsibility create lasting safety and trust. Fear is natural, but bravery is choosing to act despite it. Even the smallest voice can spark change, protect lives, and leave a lasting impact. Moral strength and decisive action are the true engines of justice and hope.